in Chicago. The ruling, this is a big win for immigrant advocates in Chicago. The ruling finding ICE is conducting illegal arrests in violation of a consent decree that limits warrantless arrests in the Chicago area of responsibility. That includes Illinois and 5 neighboring states. Collateral arrests, or people arrested while ICE is out patrolling the city, have been a major part of Operation Midway Blitz, and now a federal judge has imposed new restrictions on agents. Attorneys with the National Immigrant Justice Center in Chicago say the number of warrantless arrests in just the past 2 weeks have skyrocketed. Their case against ICE, starting with 26 people, now up to at least 200.
What we have seen now on a much larger scale is federal agents indiscriminately stopping and arresting individuals without warrants.
A family scooped up at the bean late last month. Collateral warrantless arrest during a raid at a home in Elgin, with Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem present, posting this video on social media.
He actually had his work permit to be working here legally.
A Lion's father, Abel Orozco, picked up earlier this year. ICE reports reviewed by the I-team confirming agents did not have a warrant, instead creating one after taking him into custody.
My father was the main breadwinner of the family, so having him gone, it's hard.
All examples of what U.S. District Judge Jeffrey Cummings ruled is an ongoing pattern of ICE violating the terms of a consent decree. NIJC attorneys successfully arguing agents produced no warrants, civil or criminal, for the arrests. Cummings taking particular issue with instructions to ICE agents to carry blank I-200 forms, civil immigration warrants, on their person in the field to fill them out on the spot, calling ICE's arguments it can do so lawfully meritless.
If they made a warrantless arrest, they need to justify and document the specific information.
Under the federal consent decree with ICE, to arrest someone with or without a warrant, ICE agents are required to meet 2 criteria. Is there probable cause to believe someone is in the U.S. illegally, and are they also a flight risk? ABC 7 chief legal analyst Gil Sofer says the government is likely to appeal the ruling.
Well, we'll see if it changes operations on the ground. He's certainly sending a shot across the bow, and that, if it's going to be abided by, that's going to slow things down and really impose rigor around the process.
Immigrant advocates intensely emotional over the result.
To our Black and brown people and immigrants, it does not always seem to be that this earth wants us, but we want us, and that can be enough.
Now, the Department of Homeland Security said in a statement to the I-team, quote, DHS complies with all lawful court orders and is addressing this matter with the court. NIJC says it will seek the release of hundreds of people they claim were unlawfully arrested.
Wow, wow, wow. What's going on, everybody? Peace and blessings to the chat. I see y'all rolling in. Make sure you double tap your screen on the way in. I see Sacred 84 in the building. Virtual Reality. Slick Beats is in the house. Be First is in the building. Yolanda Howard, hello. Babylon is falling. And right now in America, there's a lot of ethnic purging going on. Right now, what we're looking at is a great reset. We're looking at order out of chaos. And we got to get into that, because here on Nubreed Global Truth, we talk about what's going on in real time. Of course, we have a plethora of other material where we speak on spiritual matters. But a lot of the times, the spiritual and the physical merge in this current time, because there's a lot of prophecy that's unfolding. Now, a lot of people see what's going on in D.C., Memphis, the Gaza, and it's something that all these places have in common. They're pretty much full of chaos. They're war-torn. I mean, all around the world, we're seeing chaos erupt in key locations. None of it is random. See, Chicago is being flooded with violence and unrest. Washington, D.C. is tense with political division. Memphis has a lot of civil tension going on. And the Gaza Strip is like endless warfare. So what's happening right now? The dominant society want to show that they can come in and clean all those places up to make it their own personal utopia. I'm here to tell you there's a big gentrification push that's happening right now. And I'm going to prove what I'm saying to be true. See, these millionaires and billionaires want to be able to take war-torn places, or at least some of these places are actually manufactured war zones. But nonetheless, they want to show that they can come and clean up the streets and they can make it their own personal vacation spots. Gentrification been going on for a long time. This is a big part of what's going on. They're creating all this chaos. And when I say they, I'm not just blaming Trump alone, even though Trump, he's the key player. I'm also blaming the mayors and governors because I don't trust them either. I don't trust none of them. I believe that they all are boule. They all working for the secret society. I don't trust none of them. They probably all Masons. I don't trust them. But they're all working on one common goal: to ethnic purge and turn these streets around so they can have a place where they can go. And I'm going to prove that. Speaking of the Gaza Strip, I want to share with you all something. And this was actually released on Trump's page. He actually posted this himself. And this is this weird AI video about the Trump Gaza. I don't know if some of y'all caught this, but if you haven't, you definitely need to check this out. Peep this, y'all.
Pardon my French, but what the fuck was that? And why in God's name would Trump think that it's cool to retweet that? I've seen some people saying that, oh, he's just trolling, it's a joke. In what world is genocide a joke? Oh, do y'all think that joking about building...
Now, we're not even really talking about the genocide part of things. What we're really focusing on is the fact that he's showing Gaza, which happen to be war-torn right now. He's showing it as some type of utopia, some beach, some vacation spot. See, y'all gotta understand the satanic powers that they believe in order out of chaos. That's what they represent. So when there's a catastrophe, they're going to take advantage of it. When there's warfare, when there's anarchy breaking free in certain places, they're going to manufacture it, or they're going to take advantage of it to do what? Conquer it. It's throwing stones and hiding their hands, right?
Resorts on top of the graves that, oh, he's just trolling, it's a joke. In what world is genocide a joke? Oh, do y'all think that joking about building resorts on top of the graves of dead Palestinian babies is funny? Because I'm curious to know, if Hamas in Palestine massacred the population of Tel Aviv and a president decided to do a video like this or retweet a video like this, would Zionists still think it's funny? That shit is despicable, it's disgusting, and whoever thinks it's funny, you're just as despicable and disgusting. Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians have died for y'all to make AI videos making fun of their land being stolen by a president who doesn't even have any rights to that land. If seeing that video and the way some people have responded to it does not shake you to your core, infuriate you, and galvanize you in your support for the pro-Palestine movement, I don't know what will. But more than that, you should probably reevaluate your moral compass, because if you think that that video is funny or appropriate, you're probably a fucking psychopath.
And see, Trump retweeted this, and you can't blame people for reacting to it. He retweeted this. This place is war torn. There's a lot of death over there, and this is what these people are doing. It's all about order out of chaos. Now, I'm going to show y'all. Yeah, y'all seen it. He was sitting there lamping, chilling. Let me give you the full video without it being interrupted. I'm going to give y'all the video because I didn't know that one actually had commentary. When it comes to all of that stuff going on over there, I don't really have nothing to do with it. That land don't belong to none of them people. But anyway, let's go. Here's the full video right here.
Tunnels coming to set you free, bringing the light for all to see. No more tunnels, no more fear. Trump Gaza is finally here. Trump Gaza shining bright, golden future.
Trump Gaza is finally here. What you think they're going to do to Chicago, D.C., Memphis, Louisiana, places where they label war-torn? They're going to remake it. Some of them going to be smart cities. Some of them going to be 5-minute cities, and that's what they're going to do.
Brand new life, feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza, number one. Trump Gaza, shining bright, golden future, a brand new life. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza, number one.
We have an opportunity to do something that could be phenomenal. And I don't want to be cute, I don't want to be a wise guy, but the Riviera of the Middle East, this could be something that could be so bad.
He said the Gaza, yo, did y'all hear this? He said the Gaza could be the Riviera of the Middle East. The Gaza is war-torn, destroyed. What do you think he wants to do to Chicago and all these other places? He want to get you blacks and browns up out of there. And why? They want to, listen, the dominant society want to show leadership, that they can come clean up, that they rule. They're trying to show rulership and dominionship. Yeah, for those just joining, yeah, some of y'all haven't seen this. This is what Trump retweeted.
Tunnels coming to set you free, bringing the light for all to see. No more tunnels, no more fear. Trump Gaza is finally here. Trump Gaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new life. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza, number one. Trump Gaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new life. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza, number one.
We have an opportunity to do something that could be phenomenal. And I don't want to be cute, I don't want to be a wise guy, but the Riviera of the Middle East, this could be something that could be so bad. This could be so magnificent.
So now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let me break this down to you. See, these places aren't just hot spots. I'm talking about Memphis, Chicago, D.C., the Gaza. See, they're not just hot spots, they're testing grounds. Each of these areas represent a different front in a global experiment. See, they want to see how far they can push fear, instability, conflict before people beg for what? Order. And who steps in when the order comes? The same powers that manufactured the crisis to begin with. And then, you know, they got a lot of our people in the streets saying that Trump is doing a good thing, you know, clean the streets up. When we just seen that there's people being detained illegally. There's people disappearing off of the streets by the hundreds illegally every single day, brothers and sisters. That's what's happening in these places because there's ethnic purging going on. See, Trump, whether directly or through those who operate behind the scenes, represents the return of the strong man figure. The one who comes in promising law and order after society falls, like an antichrist. It's a real old tactic. They've been doing it in ancient Rome, ancient Babylon. You create the crisis, then offer the solution by allowing chaos to continue to pretty much spiral in all the major cities. The narrative is martial law, military presence, national emergency becomes easier to sell to people. Because then what constitutes national emergency? When you can just pull the Insurrection Act, when you can just pull the Insurrection Act at any given moment. See, when you get people scared enough, then they start asking questions. And those questions normally are, how could you help us? So now you have our land in control, and it's fear-based. Yeah, that's what's happening. See, I know that the truth can be very tough to digest. I get that. I do understand that, some people find it tough to digest this, but that's what's going on right now. We talked about these warrantless arrests that's taking place, but it's a lot more going on as well. You got the judges trying to step in. ICE got caught on camera doing a lot. Now I want to show y'all.
Now, this has been a bad,
because the country is on thin ice. Mike Davis says they want to take us from 50 states to 9 provinces. That's likely. Very likely. Let's go.
bad week so far for ICE in Chicago. A judge has ordered the embattled Immigration and Border Control Agency to dial back arrest tactics in Chicago.
And this coming as well as a grand jury refuses to indict a Chicago couple that was arrested by ICE. Investigative reporter Chuck Gowdy is here tonight with details on both of these cases. Chuck?
Seth and Allison, both of these legal items tonight putting the immigration agency on thin ice during operations in Chicago. A federal court judge finding that ICE is breaking arrest rules they agreed to 3 years ago and is reining in warrantless arrests of individuals without probable cause. And tonight, well-publicized ICE arrest last month.
And you got a lot of black folks saying, ICE ain't bothering us. ICE ain't arresting us. How the hell do you know? See, a lot of people said that Breed was fear-mongering because I said, hey, don't be surprised if they start snatching black folks off the streets as well. And to be quite frank with you, they found a loophole. And what they did was they brought the ATF in. They started asking people if they got warrants. Why? Because they know that ICE was out of jurisdiction to just be arresting black folks. But if you bring in the other letter organizations, you could do what you do. And that's what's been happening. So, there's no fear mongering to that. There's been a lot of missing people as of late. And I believe it's more than the news is telling you. I believe there's thousands of our people getting snatched. But hey, and I say black and brown people are getting snatched.
Reporter Chuck Gowdy is here tonight with details on both of these cases. Chuck?
Seth and Allison, both of these legal items tonight putting the immigration agency on thin ice during operations in Chicago. A federal court judge finding that ICE is breaking arrest rules they agreed to 3 years ago and is reining in warrantless arrests of individuals without probable cause. And tonight, well-publicized ICE arrest last month will result in no federal charges after a grand jury refuses to indict. Tear gas and tension filled the air the last weekend of September during violent protests here at the ICE facility in West Suburban Broadview. That's when this husband and wife from Chicago were arrested by federal agents. 21-year-old Ray Collins and 30-year-old Jocelyn Robledo charged with felony assault of a federal officer while both carried guns and allegedly struggled with agents. Turns out both were legally permitted to carry the pistols and licensed.
Now, did y'all see the identity of this person? That's a black brother. That's a brother with locks right there. It's a black man. And he legally owned his firearm, but nonetheless, he was engaged by military. Man wasn't doing anything wrong. He had his firearm legally and was detained by ICE. See? Let's go.
Turns out both.
It says the defendant, let me read this. The defendant forcibly assaulted resisted, opposed, impeded, and interfered with persons designated. And this is what they put down. So that's what the violation they put down. Let's see.
Guns and allegedly struggled with agents. Turns out both were legally permitted to carry the pistols and licensed in Illinois. Prosecutors here at the Dirksen Federal Building today dropping charges against the couple after a federal grand jury in Chicago declined to approve indictments against them, something that almost never happens because the grand jury only hears the government's side of the allegation.
There's an old adage.
So they were innocent and they were found innocent. And it's going to be a whole lot of cases like that. This is why I tell people all the time, get out of these cities. You got to get out of these cities because it's going to get a hell of a lot worse before it gets better. And then when it gets better, it ain't going to get better for us. It's going to get better for those who look to gentrify and look to take over. That's what's happening right now. Gentrification. They're gonna build it up as a smart city. A lot of these places. Let's go.
That a good prosecutor could get a grand jury to indict a ham sandwich. And in my case, obviously, they didn't even have enough for a ham sandwich.
You've been at this for decades. How rare is it for a grand jury to say no?
Very rare. And realistically, it's citizens from the community, so there's no party lines by which grand juries are drawn. I'm assuming the grand jury consisted of Democrats and Republicans from Chicago who I think have had enough of what's going on in the streets.
And so has U.S. District Court Judge Jeffrey Cummings. In this blistering ruling yesterday, Cummings said ICE has been repeatedly violating a court agreement made in 2022 in which the agency agreed to not make warrantless arrests without probable cause. Judge Cummings ordering that to stop and ICE to lift all bond conditions for 22 arrestees, with hundreds of others who could also be freed because they were illegally arrested.
So, this is the optics they want to get us used to seeing. We are going into martial law in America, and there's nothing we can really do to stop it. It's already here, actually. There's already a civil war in America. That's why you see the Insurrection Act being rolled out. It's already here. See, this isn't about red and blue. If you look closely and you see the pattern that's repeating, what you see going on in the Gaza provides the emotional shock, the kind of conditions that they would actually want to see in these places so they can do what they want to do. See, Satan has to tear things down all the way down, piece by piece, brick by brick. It's called destroy and rebuild. So Gaza would be the blueprint of what they would like to see in Chicago and DC and New York. And yes, I said New York too, because Trump recently just cut $18 billion in infrastructure for Chicago transit and in New York, which means that he wants it to basically rot. And New York needs it. New York needs that $18 billion on infrastructure. All it needs is a good flood and New York is done. All it needs is a good rain and the infrastructure in New York is going to be really messed up out there. But they want all this stuff to happen. They want it all to happen. See, meanwhile, the kind of conditions in the Gaza call for extreme responses. See, the political confusion in DC creates the illusion of leadership breakdown. That's why he froze the government and fired employees, because those people resisted. See, the perfect backdrop for an antichrist savior type of person. That's what Trump is. He positions himself as one who can fix the chaos that was never meant to be fixed, only properly managed. We're not supposed to be seeing these military in the streets like this.
Tonight, though, some doubt ICE will follow their own agreed rules.
Unfortunately, the Trump administration and its agencies have a record of defying court orders. We can't take anything for granted. I think that clearly the president has overstepped his authority, and he is creating a chaotic and dangerous situation in Chicago and in my home state of Illinois.
And that's exactly what he's doing. It's called order out of chaos. I want you to hear what he said again. He said Trump is creating a chaotic and dangerous situation. That's what they want. That's what they want, is order out of chaos. If you can manufacture chaos, the people will beg for a solution. You created the problem, and now you have to be the one who cleans it up. And when they clean it up, guess what? They're going to look heroic. They're going to look heroic. See, these people have the ability to rewrite history.
A dangerous situation in Chicago and in my home state of Illinois. I hope the courts will try to stop him.
No comment tonight from the U.S. Attorney in Chicago concerning that brush off by the grand jury. The prosecutor in the case reported to have told the judge simply that it happens periodically. And Justice Department attorneys from Washington who have been handling that ICE arrest agreement were not available for comment. Emails to them bounced back to our investigative team, citing the government shutdown. Stephan?
A lot of people furloughed right now. Chuck Gowdy with the latest. Check.
Yes, a lot of people furloughed. You got Trump trying to cut off WIC. A lot of parents are going to be losing. I mean, a lot of teachers are going to be losing finances. It's a lot going on. Matter of fact, we got to talk about the government shutdown cuts just briefly, because y'all got to understand all this is culminating into one event. So let's go there real quick. Let's go there. Because there's mass firings going on. Federal layoffs out the wazoo.
Now underway. Day 10 now of the government shutdown. President Trump making good on his threat to fire federal workers. What we know so far, who's affected, Mary Bruce at the White House.
Day 10 of the government shutdown, and with no end in sight. Tonight, President Trump making good on his threat to fire federal workers, sparking confusion and fear. The layoffs announced in
Sparking confusion and fear.
a tweet. The president's budget director, Russ Vought, posting that the reductions in force have begun, sending workers scrambling.
It'll be a lot of people.
The White House hasn't said which programs will be targeted or how many workers will ultimately be fired. ABC News has learned tonight layoffs are now happening at the Departments of Education, Health and Human Services, and Treasury. The administration has argued they have to fire workers to afford to keep essential government services up and running, but layoffs have never been required in any previous shutdown. The president himself has been more blunt, saying the shutdown presents an unprecedented opportunity to cut more agencies. And seeking to up the pressure on Democratic lawmakers, he said he will only target Democratic programs.
These are largely people that the Democrats want. Many of them will be fired.
The firings now underway as federal workers are starting to feel the financial impacts of this shutdown. Today, most federal workers receiving only a partial paycheck, their last paycheck until the government reopens. Starting next week, 2 million military service members will get no paycheck at all. And the president has suggested some workers may not get back pay when this is all over. And David, as these mass layoffs were getting underway today, the president went for a physical at Walter Reed, even though he just had his annual exam back in April. And it comes just months after the White House revealed the president has chronic venous insufficiency that can cause swelling, and said the bruises often seen on his hand are due to soft tissue irritation. But the president downplaying today's visit, insisting he's in great health.
Oh, swollen ankles McGee. So you have this tyrant who just fired a bunch of federal employees. And he's talking about making sure they don't get paid. He's talking about cutting off a lot of popular Democratic programs like WIC. He's doing a lot of cuts in education. He's doing a lot of cuts in infrastructure, transit systems, stuff that, you know, at the end of the day, let's be real. The highest welfare recipients happen to be Caucasian people. And you can give the per capita argument all you want, but let's make this very clear. Y'all still outnumber us, so y'all will be more affected. Doesn't matter. So, I mean, it looks like to me that Swollen Ankles McGee, before, he kicks the bucket, he's pretty much trying to, do what the Antichrist spirit wants him to do. He's being controlled by the Antichrist. Simple as that. Yeah, he wants to be the hero, but he's really a villain. He's on his way out. Trump ain't gonna be here forever. He's only confused himself to make himself believe he'll be here forever, but he won't be here forever. None of us will. But see, that Antichrist spirit moves through everybody, moves through not everybody, pardon me, but it moves through multiple people. It moves through multiple people. Let me see. Somebody said, stop pushing lies. Trump said, WIC and military paid by tariffs. No, I'm not pushing lies at all. I got my sources. You can go to Reuters, you can go to Wikipedia, you can go to the New York Post, the Washington Times. Yes, that's what he's planning on cutting, WIC. He's planning on cutting education. Yeah, no, there's no lies. I got sources. I don't just be saying things. Yep, somebody says, y'all can keep talking racism and be pitiful or realize we all love the change. By the way, his charges were overturned. He is not a felon. Wow, hey, I don't know how we're speaking hate, just simply reacting to the news. I don't get it. I don't get where you coming from here. But yeah. Oh, I see a lot of Trump supporters in the building. Y'all can feel free to hit the link if you would like, but I don't think y'all want to do that. So all the Trump supporters, I want to ask y'all, what y'all feel about this? Let me ask y'all this. Let me show y'all. Because I'm claiming that it's order out of chaos. I believe it is. Just look at what's going on. Look what Trump retweeted when it comes to what's going on in the Gaza Strip. Just check this out. Oh, my bad. That's the wrong one. Let me share the screen. Pardon me. Just look at this, y'all. Order out of chaos is what we say. Trump Gaza.
Tunnels coming to set you free, bringing the light for all to see. No more tunnels, no more fear. Trump Gaza is finally here. Trump Gaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new light. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza #1. Trump Gaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new light. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza #1.
We have an opportunity to do something that could be phenomenal. And I don't want to be cute. I don't want to be a wise guy, but the Riviera of the Middle East, this could be something that could be so bad. This could be so magnificent.
Yeah, he told you exactly what he about. All this chaos you see breaking all around. Yeah, he wants to take over. Build golden statues of himself. He's a modern day Nebuchadnezzar. This is modern day Nebuchadnezzar. And for the life of me, I don't understand how you Trump supporters just worship this guy. I mean, y'all worship him. He wants to be praised and worshiped. This is the same guy building golden statues of himself in front of the White House, y'all. Somebody said this is all AI. Yes, this is all AI. Trump retweeted the AI. He retweeted that on his page to show you what he's really about. If somebody said if the education department cuts anymore, the future is screwed. Yeah, that's why we got to educate our own children. Because guess what they teaching up in there? Let me show you what they teaching up in these damn schools. This is why we got to educate our kids, right? I'm glad y'all brought that up. Look at the nonsense they teaching. And people been going off about this. A lot of parents been going off. They're trying to teach Charlie Kirk in the textbooks. They're trying to literally teach Charlie Kirk in school, in elementary school at that. Let me show y'all this. Hold up. Matter of fact, let's just go to yo, peep this, y'all. You're gonna cut education. You're gonna cut the resources on education, and you be up there teaching my little black babies about Charlie Kirk. Not having it.
Up in Atlanta for Hype Plus News, I'm John Abba.
This is your homework?
Yeah.
What did the teacher say when he gave it to you?
She was sad.
She was sad?
It's been close to a month since the shooting of conservative influencer Charlie Kirk during a campus visit in Utah.
If my kids were being, in public schools and I got that sent home, I'm taking my kids out of that school. If I sent my children to school to learn reading, writing, arithmetic, English, science, and y'all teaching my child about this suspected white supremacist who got popped by his own people, this guy who was pretty much orchestrating alleged modern day Klan rallies with the America Fest every year, this alleged racist, and that's what y'all teaching I'm telling you, I'm going to that school. I'm going to the school. I'm telling you. But let's go.
His killing, which was captured on camera, comes at a time that parts of the country continues to clash over several political issues in Trump's administration. One of the main issues surrounding Kirk's shooting has been, for some, the contradictions noticed by those who are supporters of Kirk, given that he was seen as a political figure and has been honored in places that on previous occasions have shared they don't engage in politics. Another concern is how Kirk has been treated compared to other political figures in the past. Some would even make the claim that Kirk's work is comparable to the late Martin Luther King Jr. And it is this type of lifting up that has bothered so many, especially black people who felt Kirk's work divided and targeted them. Now, making the rounds on social media, Kirk appears to have received another honor by now being taught in elementary schools. Over on TikTok, a parent will share his child's latest homework, which would be a pamphlet entitled The Life of Charlie Kirk. And it appears to be a Q&A style quiz educating 5th graders on the importance of Kirk.
This is your homework?
Yeah.
What did the teacher say when he gave it to you?
She was sad.
She was sad?
Yeah. I can't read.
Okay.
Yo, that junk was literally asking questions about Turning Point USA. It says, how did Charlie... Yo, I'm just looking at the test that the teacher gave them. Yo, it says, when and where was Charlie Kirk born? Who cares? How old was Charlie when he founded Turning Point USA? Who cares? What was the main purpose of Turning Point USA? How did Charlie's Christian faith influence his life and decisions? What special weekly practice did Charlie follow, and how did it impact his life? Bro, this is crazy. This is crazy, bro. So when I tell you these people just like to just write history as it goes, I'm telling you, bro.
Okay.
For his video, which has now been viewed by 6.1 million users, the dad in the video would write, the homework they're giving 5th grade kids in elementary school, the life of Charlie Kirk. Upon reviewing the footage, some of the questions appear to be true or false questions. One being, he passed away peaceful at home surrounded by his family, true or false. And another that read, many people remember Charlie for his faith, his dedication to helping young people, and his belief that one person can make a difference, true or false. Now, over in the comment section of the video, parents and many others would flood the comments reacting to the teacher's decision to begin indoctrinating Charlie Kirk's life to their young students. Outside of the anger and concern from parents, several black parents would also share their issues with the teacher's decision. One black parent would hold nothing back about their issues with the homework.
The life of Charlie Kirk, huh? I bet they left out all the motherfucking racist bullshit, huh? Y'all really had a whole lesson plan trying to teach these kids about Charlie.
Yeah, why y'all didn't put in the book when he said Martin Luther King was an awful person, and that we should have, and the civil rights movement was a mistake, and that black women don't have the brain processing power to go to do certain things. You know, like, what about that? What about that? Put that in the textbooks. Anyway, y'all see. Let's go.
Kirk. Y'all don't even put this much fucking effort into trying to teach the kids about Martin Luther King. How is any of this relevant to a fucking child and their education? Why the are they allowing teachers to send kids home with Charlie Kirk homework like he was some fucking civil rights leader or some shit like that? He was a fucking podcaster. I wish my motherfucking kids' school would try to send them home with some Charlie Kirk bullshit. But I already know that ain't gonna happen. Because my kid's principal is a black woman. So I know that ain't gonna happen. So I know I ain't got to worry about that. But for the people that do, the parents that do, y'all better call these fucking teachers out. Y'all better fucking raise hell if they sending your kids home with some Charlie Kirk homework.
Other black parents would join in and call out the teacher's homework. They would go on to write, but we can't have anything about black history in school anymore. Another would say, I would have been up at the school so fast. And lastly, my child would have gotten a 0. Now, upon research, it is
our people have. Hey, listen, we too aware of the real history. We're not gonna allow them to just indoctrinate our children like that, man. You know, this is nasty work. It's nasty work.
Clear what school in Los Angeles it is, nor has a teacher been identified. Now, as stated by one user who would react to the news, in the last few years, Black history in school has been a huge conversation, as some conservatives have requested that schools stop teaching parts of Black history. Just back in 2023, a Missouri school named Francis Howell School would vote to remove Black history altogether by its all-white board. So to see someone like Kirk making some students' homework without any pushback by the school of the student documented in the video is why so many have concerns. Let's talk about it more in the comments below.
Yeah, man. So anyway, I just wanted to come through with this quick stream. I am going to be streaming some more. We're going to be doing some regular horizontal motivational talks. I got to make a couple moves and I'm going to tap right back in with y'all. I'm actually just getting off the road. You know, yesterday I missed a lot of y'all because I was traveling the whole day, and I'm going to be doing a lot of traveling. I got a lot of work to do globally, you know, not only internationally, but we got moves to make. We got moves to make and things to do. So anyway, I will be back a little bit later, man. I got a message for all of the chosen brothers and sisters of the faith. We got to chop it up. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thank each and every one of y'all.